God, I just went through the whole thing and no audio. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Happy Archaeology Fun Time. And welcome to take 3 of things you should know about Northern California, the show where I answer stuff you should know, in this case about Northern California. And like I said, this is take 3, so I should be well practiced by now. I'm not going to explain why it's take 3, but it is. Anyway, today I'm coming to you from Northern California, specifically San Francisco Bay, my hometown of Alameda, California, and behind me is the very lovely San Francisco. As you may or may not be able to tell, it's kind of windy. My phone is dying, and that's where I have my questions, so I may not be able to get through all of them, but hopefully I will. Anyway, starting with question 1. And I will be moving kind of quickly since my phone is in fact dying, literally. Job types. You know, in CRM in most of the country is like pipelines and, you know, doing environmental survey for mines and various utilities and infrastructure. You don't really find that in Northern California, which I think is interesting. And it also kind of makes it the inverse of Southern California. I don't know why. Mainly because a lot of it is park land, Forest Service land, and the rest of it seems to be wineries. At least from my time working in Lake County, which is just north of Napa. I went back and forth between there and Reno and the Bay Area to visit my mom, and it seemed like, you know, there are tons of wineries. And most of the CRM work you find there is sort of stuff like I was doing, which essentially is like small county stuff. You know, environmental clearance for, in the case of where I was working, environmental clearance for some road construction and a new water pipeline that was going in. And let's see what I want to say. Well, that's basically the reason why you don't really see a lot of CRM jobs listed for Northern California. That's the main point I was trying to make. Man. Take 3s are hard. This is literally the 3rd time I've said this. Anyway. Most of the work you do find in Northern California and most of the work you see listed are basically USA jobs type jobs. Forest Service jobs, BLM jobs, parkland jobs, and stuff like that. And work types, that's question 3. See, I don't even need this anymore because this is literally take 3. Work types. I assume most of the park type jobs are like pedestrian survey and maybe the occasional testing, shovel testing, excavation, stuff like that. The job I was just on, however, I was told to expect to do shovel test. And so I was expecting shovel test. And what we did was we basically started laying out that first day 50 by 50 units, half a meter by half a meter basically. And I had to lay them out, make sure they were square, make sure they were pointed north, do 10-centimeter levels using a line level and everything. So you should definitely ask if you are lucky enough to get a job, a CRM job in Northern California, just what kind of shovel testing you'll be doing. It seems like most of the CRM work in Northern California seems to preclude like pedestrian survey, since it's mostly construction clearance for roads, infrastructure, and the occasional private subdivision. Archaeology, which I believe is question 4. No, question 4 is terrain. Wait, job types. So question 3 is archaeology. And if you've ever read the Michael Morato book on California archaeology, you know that archaeology in California is surprisingly diverse. Way more diverse than I could ever list in one video. but it's interesting, but nothing out of the ordinary. So like you won't have to memorize like a million different pottery types or something, or familiarize yourself with the weaving techniques of like 400 or 500 years ago or something. Just know your lithics, your basic lithic stuff. Know what a flake looks like. Know what pottery looks like. Know some historics and stuff. Nothing off the wall. Question 4 is terrain. Terrain, God, I was thinking about this on the way down from Reno. Northern California, unlike Southern California, is not that deserty, but it is hilly. You know, it's hilly all across California, up and down, southern and northern. So if you're from the South or the Midwest, like Minnesota or something, then this is going to be rugged for you. In addition to that, God, all the world's pokey, spiky, sharp plants seem to be here. So I can only imagine how much fun that makes. Pedestrian survey. Oh, good Lord. That sounds like so much fun. Weather. Oh, good Lord. Weather's diverse too. You know, I go all the time from Reno to the Bay Area to visit family. And it snows. You know, it's like, expect snow when you're coming over Donner Summit in the winter. Sometimes it's dry. But basically it snows in the eastern part of the state. The whole state basically, including, you know, northern and southern. But once you get away from the foothills, it doesn't really snow. I mean, occasionally it gets snow at like super high points, but it's not a regular thing. I mean, work can go on here theoretically year round, unless you're talking about, again, the Sierra Nevadas, but yeah. Oh, and it does get hot here. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. It gets really hot. I was camping when I was working in Lake County, and God, those nights were... God, when there wasn't a wind, it was hot. Oh, good Lord. And don't let anyone talk to you about dry heat. It's kind of like if someone were to talk to you about dry cold, you tell them they were insane, because cold is cold and heat is heat. So that's my personal opinion on dry heat. Let's see, animals, bugs. Let's see. I assume they're the usual collection of like mountain lions and stuff. No bears or anything. It's also snake country. And Northern California being not as deserty means that there's more cover for them. So it's easier for them to hide. Something to keep in mind when you're doing pedestrian survey. Bugs though are nice. And, you know, not nice, but you know, there's no mosquitoes. I was camping. I didn't even have a fly on my tent. You know, I just kept it open. Didn't need to poison myself with bug spray, cover myself in a bug net or anything. So that's super nice. Oh, but I don't know. The person I was camping with, my boss and me, every time we'd have dinner when we were camping, we were like descended upon by bees or wasp or something. They didn't really sting, so we didn't really care. But that's something to keep in mind. It's agricultural country, so obviously people have bees out. And I assume that the bees we were attracting were wild bees, so there's bees here. Question 7, cost of living. And question 8, drinking. I'll do those together. Cost of living here doesn't seem to be that outrageous, aside from gasoline. Restaurants seem to be comparable to like Reno. You know, it's not like North Dakota. Like North Dakota even, like I thought that was gonna be outrageously expensive, but it wasn't, aside from the restaurants. I mean, cost of living, it seems like, is pretty even every place I've worked. But drinking, however, is something that's interesting. I mean, alcohol costs a little more here than it does in Reno, but I feel like Reno is an exceptional example of cheap alcohol. But there's no bottle shops. There's no weird sort of like dry counties. Oh, there's no restrictions other than that, the fact that pretty much all bars or whatnot are required to stop selling alcohol around 2. But other than that, you can pretty much buy alcohol anywhere, so that shouldn't be an issue for your average field tech. Let's see, and last question, question 9, things, other miscellaneous things. The most obvious thing that comes to my mind is valley fever. You might be asking, what the hell is valley fever? It's basically a fungus infection that takes root in your lungs and gives you like symptoms of like pneumonia or really nasty flu and whatnot, and there's no cure for it other than just feeding you a lot of antibiotics. But yeah, there's no cure. I know plenty of people who have tried to keep it out by wearing dust masks and stuff, but pretty much every archaeologist I know, or most of the archaeologists I know who've done any kind of excavation in Northern California, have gotten it, because valley fever is a fungus that hides in the dirt, and when you dig it up and disturb it, it gets in the air, and that's how it gets in your lungs, which obviously makes it the perfect sickness for an archaeologist to get. Oh, and yeah, that's it as far as all the questions I have for what it's like to work for, what it's like, no, not what it's like, for things you should know. Ha, forgot the title of my own show. If you have any questions or comments, leave them below. I always enjoy feedback. I also have an email address in the description. I have a Twitter. Please subscribe. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to this channel and the videos. Thanks for watching. Hopefully that was of some use to you. And hope you guys are having a good day. I'll see you guys next time.